Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do some work in my doll's house. The first thing I'm going to do is give the wood in the attic room, which is the room I'm working on, a good wipe down and a final clean before I start to age and distress the wallpaper and to start and move my furniture in. So here we are. Here's the attic room. So what I've done first is using this soft bristle brush is I've give the room a good sweep out, collected any bits and pieces together, and then using this wood cleaner, which was recommended to use, I've mixed it to the recommended levels. I've got some cotton wool and I'm just going to give it a wipe over. Now I did use a plain detergent initially, and let's just see the difference that the wood cleaner makes. So I believe that this was nice and clean. Let's see if the wood cleaner is going to tell me different. Yep, there's still marks on there, there's still dirt coming off. 200 years worth of, just under 200 years worth of grime. Give it another wipe down. So yes, this house is from the early 1840s, so it's sort of borderline Georgian or Victorian. Some people are telling me it's Georgian, some people are telling me it's Victorian. I've done some research and I believe it is Victorian. So that is how I'm decorating it, in a Victorian style. So there we are, beautiful and clean now. I can't believe this. So like I say, I cleaned it with ordinary detergent, and then I watched on YouTube that the best thing to clean it with is just a wood cleaner. This was the cheapest wood cleaner I could find. It's going to last me a long time. I'm going to have to get lots of doll's houses. So I cleaned it with the wood cleaner and bam! Look at all that. And I thought I'd cleaned it. So the answer there is real wood cleaner. Right, done. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to paint the fireplace in like a whitewash. So bear with me while I get everything ready. So now I want to whitewash the fireplace. It's literally a wash, because in days of old, in Victorian times, paint was very, very expensive. So I do believe that my family here would have just used a nice whitewash. Then every year it would have been washed. Now, why would it have been washed every year? And that was because of insects and things, beetles, bed bugs, that sort of thing that might have been inhabiting the home. Now, there definitely wouldn't have been any in my home. However, let's stick with the whitewash. So I've literally got some white acrylic and some Winsor & Newton dark ombre. I can't say it. I put them in here. I put the white in here, the dark umber in here, and I've mixed myself a delicious squidgy amount of wash in there. So I've mixed the acrylic with water to do that. So I'm going to start and whitewash my fireplace. So this is great. Remember that this is not a solid paint work, this is a wash. And in Lancashire back in the day, the paint was very, very expensive. So the likelihood is it would have been washes, so it's more like a watered down paint. Whoops, let's just wipe that off there. Like a watered down paint as opposed to a solid paint. So what I'm going to do is continue with this. I'm not going to film it all because it's quite a difficult area to do. As you just saw, I managed to splash the fireplace. I might give it 2 coats. I did do quite a big amount of wash because it's quite a decent area, and if I didn't want to run out, especially if I need to give it a second coat. So basically it's just going to look like that, but with another coat on it. I'll bring you back in a minute. Okie dokie, so I'm on now to aging the wallpaper. When I flip the camera around, you'll see the whitewashed chimney breast. Oh, I also made this, very proud of it, a little hearth in the fire. And some of you may know I do like to do the odd bit of river walking and beach combing and things. So this is probably Victorian pottery that I found. Well, yeah, highly likely Victorian or earlier pottery that I found either on the banks of the River Mersey or the Thames or in one of the Lancashire rivers. I've been looking through it, walking through with my daughter. So I'll show you where I've put this. I've just put it as a little tiny hearth in my fireplace, and I'm really, really pleased with it. I ground down, I drew a template and then ground down the paint. Not the paint, I ground down the plate. Tired, it's the end of a long day. So here, what have I got here? I've got pastels in these different brown colours, and this is like a rusty colour and yellow. So I'm going to use these and a brush to start and age the wallpaper. So let's have a look where we're up to. Let's have a look. Can we see inside? Let's move you a bit closer. There we go. There we go. So yeah, there's a little piece. I'm going to just glue that into there just to give it a little half. There's the whitewash. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to gently dust. Now I have, using water, can we see up here? Can you see there? I've scuffed off some of the, really nervous about doing this, scuffed off some of the wallpaper. My husband saw me and he went, "What are you doing?" So he's like, "I've done that." So gently done that, carefully. And now you're just aging it. There we go. So I'm just brushing this on dry. And then I'm going to start and go into the corners of the room. At the minute I'm just using the lighter brown pastel. And I'm just going to go gently into the corners. That was a bit too gently. And start and edge up. Just going to put a little tiny bit of water on my brush. A little bit of water. And I'm just going to just go into these corners and just start that aging process. Now once you've got a bit of water on, once it's a bit damp, you don't need to keep putting water on your brush. So I'm going right into that bottom corner. You see? Just doing that bit of aging. I'm going to very gently put a bit of the yellowy colour on as well. I wondered why I couldn't see. I've not brought my glasses back down. I'm thinking, gosh, I'm squinting here. Bit too much water there. I'm washing off what I've put on. It's really difficult to get into some of these angles, especially when they're like a sloping ceiling like this is. Take that right in. So I'm getting a mixture of the yellow and the brown. On there. I've got some cotton wool with me and I can just rub down there as well. Yeah, I quite like that very much. That's good to go down the side of the fireplace. So if you think about where damp might be, I mean, because this is the loft, attic bedroom, the likelihood is, yeah, there's going to be damp in here, particularly in Lancashire where it rains like most of the year. And just have a think. Putting some of that yellow on there. Let's get my cotton wool and just wipe down. Let me show you what I've done by the window here. Whoop. If you can see, let's have a see that you can see. I've just like rolled a piece of wallpaper up there. I'll literally wet the wallpaper and I am going to just paint onto that there where it's rolled back. Put a bit of yellow on as well. Could always put a bit of the orange. And here, where I've just sort of rubbed some of the wallpaper off. Let's just do that. My daughters have just returned from shopping. Let's put a bit of the orange on. Around the edge. And some of the yellow onto there. Brilliant. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish off the rest of the room and I will bring you back when that is done. So there we go, there's my distressed attic room. I put a little bit of the pastel on the fireplace as well for that sooty effect. You know, this is old Lancashire we're talking about. More aging on this side than that side because it doesn't always happen uniformly, does it? So all I need to do now in there is just, what's that there? I'm sweeping and tidying all the time. I could have got a job here as a cleaner. All I need to do now is lay down my beautiful, beautiful rug. This is a vintage rug. It's so absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. I just need to lay that down in the bedroom. And there we go. All ready to put the furniture in once it's dried. Once it's dried, I'll take another few photos and add it onto the end of this. So next I can start to add my bits and bobs. So I look forward to sharing that with you. So thank you so much for watching. You've been watching me, Sharon at Be Divine Vintage, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you for watching.